the Russian currency has passed beyond 100 rubles per dollar. Such a jump in the exchange rate on the Moscow exchange occurred for the first time since March 2022. The reasons for the fall were cheap loans, high federal budget expenditures, primarily for the continuation of full-scale aggression against Ukraine, and low demand for rubles. After all, no one wants to stock up on an unstable currency, which is also highly dependent on political risks. In addition, Russia's main source of foreign exchange is oil and gas exports, which have fallen significantly due to sanctions. So it turns out that there are few dollars and euros in the Russian economy, but a lot of rubles.
The weakening of the ruble is the result of the international screws tightening around the Russian economy, but also the cost of keeping the economy going. Nobody wants to hold rubles, and the limited supply of foreign exchange from exporters weighs on the currency. Meanwhile, the current account is weakening on the back of growing imports and declining export earnings, adding to the pressure. Eric Meyerson, Chief Emerging Markets Strategist at the Swedish Financial Group.
The Russian authorities, meanwhile, see no reason for concern. Thus, the central bank said that there were no risks to financial stability from the weakening of the ruble. At the same time, the regulator is trying to stop the decline by deciding to stop buying foreign currency on the domestic market until the end of 2023. The authorities of the aggressor country are in no hurry to resort to radical measures, since such a somersault of the national currency is beneficial to them, experts say. They're trying to fill the leaky federal budget with a cheap ruble, thereby reducing the purchasing power of the population.
They are trying to solve their economic problems at the expense of the population. The thing is, when you have a big deficit, after all, they don't have enough money. Remember, we talked about it 2 months ago, when they had already fulfilled the annual deficit and so on. And there are not so many ways to solve the issue, to fill the budget. One of the bad options, by impoverishing the population. This is the devaluation of the national currency.
In other words, the Russians have the same amount of rubles, but they can buy much less with this money. In the first place, imported goods and goods with imported components.
Imports to Russia will become more expensive. This is the very first, shall we say, direct connection between what is happening and what will be. This means that since Russia has an import dependence on many groups of goods, respectively, these goods will either increase immediately at the ruble devaluation rate, or if they have only important components, this will increase the cost of components. Maybe not by the amount by which the ruble devalued, but it will still increase the cost of final goods.
The trade balance, the difference between receipts and expenditures on the country's foreign trade transactions, is declining in Belarus as well, and the collapse of the Russian currency pulled the Belarusian ruble along with it. The hare, or zaychik, sank to a minimum over the past 16 months as a result of trading on the Belarusian currency and stock exchange. Reported by Dana Kolesnik, Valeria Nekapelova, UATV News.